I'm back. Rudrance for Black and White Network. Let's talk about Woody Harrelson, legendary actor, self-described middle-of-the-road guy. He described himself the other day as a redneck hippie. Kind of like that. Kind of like the sound of that, Woody. I do. He sauntered his way onto Saturday Night Live the other day, which has become a leftist progressive propaganda machine, and he proceeded to shit all over the woke left's COVID agendas, their mandates, their vaccinations, the masking, all of the absurdness that has gone on since that damn virus conveniently sauntered its way, I love the word sauntered its way out of a Chinese lab, by the way, real, sauntered its way out conveniently, once again, I will say, going back, I don't know how long. Isn't it convenient? Wasn't it convenient that a once-in-a-lifetime pandemic, a disease leaked out of a lab, conveniently during the election year, going against a president that the progressives hate more than any president, Hollywood, celebrities, elitists, globalists hate worse than rhinos, hate worse than any president ever. A once-in-a-lifetime pandemic moonwalked its way out of a Chinese lab. Isn't it odd how that happened? Isn't it convenient? I mean, we called it. All the things that came out of that, look at how much changed in regards to how people do elections in certain progressive states. Yeah. Now you get it. Now you know. So, even some liberals, maybe you could call Woody a classic liberal. I don't know. He says he's purple. All right? Middle of the road guy. He came out the other day on Saturday Night Live, destroyed all those miscellaneous protocols and initiatives and everything that were put around COVID. And so, as you can imagine, the left's head absolutely exploded. It blew completely off their skull caps. And then he sat down and did an interview with Variety. And they decided to question him. And he decided to pull down his trousers in true Woody Harrelson, firing up a blunt fashion. He is a big cannabis guy. He fired it up, pulled down his trousers, and took a fan shit spray through a screen door. Didn't hit a wire. 2 videos in a row I used that. All over all of the COVID vernacular that exists out there in our atmosphere. Let's look. The Blaze. If you had any doubt Woody Harrelson was lampooning COVID-19 protocols during his viral Saturday Night Live monologue over the weekend, he likely confirmed it in a New York Times interview published shortly before the SNL hosting gig, in which he let loose more disgust over policies, saying, "Let's be done with this nonsense." Now, this comes by way of Variety. They bring up New York Times. I'm surprised the Times even ran it, but they knew if they did run it, the leftists would be all over Woody Harrelson. Variety focused on tidbits from the interview, noting that the actor expressed uncertainty about the future of independent movies due to, quote, all the COVID protocols in place, saying they're, quote, absurd. Isn't it funny? This seems like something like before the de-evolution of life in Zombieland. This is so something that a Twinkie-eating Tallahassee would have done, complete with that badass hat he had on. God, such a good character. What's absurd about the COVID protocols? Question mark. The Times asked Harold, according to Variety. The fact that they're still going on, he replied. The magazine noted, I don't think that anybody should have the right to demand that you're forced to do testing, forced to wear a mask, and forced to get vaccinated 3 years on. I'm just like, let's be done with this nonsense. It's not fair to the crews. I don't have to wear a mask. Why should they? He's talking about film crews. Why should they have to be vaccinated? How's that not up to the individual? I shouldn't be talking about this shit. And I think he means it's ridiculous that he's having to still talk about this 3 years later, because he brings up 3 years again. Variety added that Harrelson told the Times, quote, it makes me angry for the crew, the anarchist part of me. I don't feel that we should have forced testing, forced masking, forced vaccination. That's not a free country. Good chance that's making it in the thumbnail. Really, I'm talking about the crew because I can get out of wearing a mask. I can test less. I'm not in the same position they're in, but it's wrong. 3 years, stop. He added, that's the anarchist. I don't do well with mandates. Neither do I, sir. According to the magazine. Variety readers, by and large, support Harrelson's stance. Kudos to him. Many of us were saying this since spring of 2020, while Penske media sites were censoring our comments. Right. Icon in big caps. The world has moved on. Vaccinations are no longer relevant. Let people work. Good for him. Another commenter. This farce has gone on 2 years too long, I would argue. Longer than that. Yeah, I mean, again, convenient, came out during election year. I'm like, what's next? I saw a report the other day. The bird flu. 6 out of 10 people dying. And, I mean, at what point do we start thinking that if this stuff starts coming out of places that we're in some kind of biological warfare right now? Looking right at you, Xi Jinping. I mean, a way to deconstruct our economy, deconstruct our way of life, kill some people along the way. What are the vaccines doing now? Fuck, we don't know. Really. I mean, you can still get the virus and you can still transmit the virus. Not to mention, we don't even know what all the side effects that's going on involving the virus. Or the vaccination. I'm just saying, awful lot of people just seem to be dropping out there, young people. It's ridiculous. This is not the country that, not only that, but the way it's so blatantly politicized in red versus blue states, that it's so obvious that the Kathy Hochul's and the Gavin Newsoms, they all weaponize this for their states in a political, look at me, I'm virtuous, cavalcade of nonsense that has ruined businesses in both those states, caused a mass exodus from both states. Not to mention ruined people's lives. They didn't get to see loved ones as they were dying, etc., etc., etc. I mean, I just lost my dad in April of last year. And it makes me think, Jesus, if that would have just been timed a little differently, I may have never gotten to see him. Like he would have went to the hospital and died, and they'd have called me like, your dad's dead. Because of bullshit protocols. And that's here in Texas. Unbelievable. And I've said before, I'll say again, one of the most concerning parts of all of that is how quick these motherfuckers on the left were to just rolling over and doing whatever in the hell they were told to do. Like this was straight up Stalin or China. You ever seen people willing to suck the Johnson of the government so quick? Oh, you want me to do this, this, and this? Oh, God, okay. Wow. Man, unbelievable. Tell me what you think. Peace. I'm out. Till next time.